Hello, my lovely grade 9 class. Welcome to StudyWeb Academy, where education is without limits. Welcome to our last part of the English class, the last part of discussing the part of speech. So I will move on to where I left, and that is we were discussing the adjectives, and I was talking about the order of adjectives, where I told you it's very important to know the order of adjectives. So now, I will, after discussing these adjectives and the order of adjectives and everything about it, I will move to the next thing. And before that, I just want to wind up here and tell you that to understand adjectives, we need to know the various functions and express ourselves more vividly. Okay, so we need to know the functions of these adjectives, and when we are talking, we have to understand how to use these adjectives. So don't forget about that. So we just want to better our writing, our English, and everything. So that's why it's important to learn these adjectives. Right now, we'll move to something known as spelling, and I will talk about everything we need to know about in spelling. And one is the vocabulary building. Now here we will continue to expand our vocabulary. So each and every time when we are learning, I will want us to have a vocabulary corner in our books. So you have this English book where maybe at the end or in the middle or a certain page, when you hear something that you don't know about, write it down, okay? So when you hear about an when you hear about a word that you don't or you've never heard about it, I want you to write it down and then just write the meaning there. Or sometimes you find me explaining words or telling you to write this in our vocabulary corner. And sometimes if you just notice I've said a word and you quite don't understand it, I just want you to write it down, write the word down, and just give a simple explanation to it, research, and just find more about the word. So that is going to be our major focus for this class when we want to know about spelling. So we want to build on our vocabulary. So we should be able to spell a wide range of words. That means that if you learn new words and you don't know about them, write it down somewhere and just research about it and just know what it means. Then word recognition. Also here we should be able to recognize and spell common words, okay? So for example, mother, idea, stool, sensors, senior, okay, such words. They are common words that we should spell naturally, okay? So including high frequency words we encounter in literature and academic text. So there's some common words like mother, okay, just common words. I'm expecting all of us to know the spellings. So that is another part under spelling, that we have to recognize words, okay, and just know how to spell them out. Then the next thing is contextual spelling. Here it's your ability to spell words based on your understanding of the context, okay? So for example, I'm talking and maybe I'm talking about poverty and you find some words there. I want you to use your context or just have a clear understanding of what I'm talking about and try spell the word out. So you can infer the correct spelling of unfamiliar words through like context clues. So for example, you don't know about a certain context you don't know about a certain word, but you really understand what I'm talking about. So you can use my context clues or understanding what I'm talking about and just spell out a word correctly. That's another trick here that you must pay attention to. Then we have homophones and homonyms, okay? So students should be familiar with homophones. Homophones are just words that have the same but different meanings, okay? So they're words that sound the same. So when you speak these words, they sound the same, but they have different meanings and different spellings. So you can even try give me examples. There are words when you say them, they will sound the same, exactly the same, but when you write them, they have very different meanings, okay? So don't forget about that. Those are the homophones. And then the homonyms are words that sound the same and may or may not have the same spelling, but have different meanings. So there's some words that sound the same, okay? But they may, like read and read, okay? So for example, read, maybe get rid of something, to get rid of, maybe get rid of this trash, just get rid of it. And the word read, they are pronounced the same, read and read, but they have different spellings and different meanings. One is to like when you want to go through a text and understand a text, you read it, okay? So that's the first one. And getting rid of something is like, I'm telling you, get rid of this trash. So those are homophones. But homonyms are words that may sound the same even have the same spelling, but they don't have the same meaning. They have different meanings, and the meaning depends on how you use it, or it depends on your sentence. Okay, so take note of that. That also will help us in our spelling. Then prefixes and suffixes. So here we will be introduced to more advanced prefixes and learning how to they will affect the spelling. Okay, so prefixes and suffixes. Pre means before, so we have words that come before the main word, and we have words that come after. So I know we've learned about prefixes and suffixes. So for you to better your spelling, you have to also take note of these prefixes and take note of these suffixes too. Okay, then we have something we call etymology. Okay, and this is where we learn about the origin of words and how words root and word families can help with spellings. So we learn maybe this is a scientific word, or this was a word that was the mathematics. You find that most mathematic terms come from the Roman origin. Okay, so when you know the origin of words, it can help you with the spelling. So it's better to also find words that you don't know about and try just find about their origin. Okay, then we have structured and sequential. So here we have a step-by-step approach to teaching spelling, where we build on each other, okay, to help us progress on various levels and master new concepts. So for example, I am talking and you don't understand a specific word, you have the right to ask to be spelled, someone to spell it out for you word by word, so that you can easily understand it. So don't forget about that. Okay, it's very, very simple. And then we have something called phonics based. When I talk about phonics, again, I mean sounds. So when you want to spell some words, you will rely with the sounds. You will rely on the sounds. Okay, so you, when maybe mother, you'll start with saying something like that, and just find how to write it. For example, let me use a simple word, maybe ball. You want to spell out each and every sound in it so that you can get the spelling. So that is one way to help you. Then we have the multisensory approach, where it's all about spelling. It incorporates techniques to engage different learning styles. We can use like letter tiles, visual aids. So for example, these are just concepts that will help you master words. So we show you a word on maybe a screen, and this will help you remember this word. So you notice that something that you see and something that you hear, where something that you see will always stick compared to something that you hear. Okay, so lastly we have assessment. Okay, this includes the regular assessment. So when you want to learn about our spelling, I will make sure to be giving out maybe a spelling test or a spelling quiz, where I spell out words that I expect you to write them down. So this will also help better our spelling. So that is something we will work on too. Now I will look at something again we call double or doubling of consonants. And doubling of consonants is a spelling, or is a common spelling rule in English that is applied when adding suffixes to words. Okay, or when these suffixes start with a vowel. Okay, so the general principle to double the final consonant is based on words when the base of the word is one syllable word, or a word with one stressed syllable, or the base ends in a singular consonant letter immediately after the single vowel. Do not worry, I will expound on this. Okay, so here I'm talking about let me look at the key rules for doubling. Okay, so we have something we call adding ed for past tense. So this is the doubling rule. Okay, so we have this rule. So when you want to change something to be in the past tense, you notice we add ed. So when forming verb tenses, we add ed. So doubling the final. Sometimes you find there's some words that you have to double the last consonant. Okay, so for example, hope. The past tense will be hoped. You notice that there's a double p. Stopped. We add ed to show past tense, but we double the p. So this is one rule. When you're adding, how doubling of consonants happen is when we are adding ed for the past tense. Okay, so I've given you that example. Then the next one is adding ing for present participle. So for example, the word like run, you notice that we will add another n, so that we are double n. So we double this consonant n to make it show the present participle, running. Swimming, again, there's a doubling of the consonant m to make it swimming. So now I get to understand the doubling of consonants, where we will double consonants when we are finding the past tense. We will double consonants when we are talking about the present participle. Okay. Another one is, this is an exemption, or okay, exemptions here. So there are exemptions to this rule, particularly when words have multiple syllables, okay, or the stress is not the final syllable. So for example, enter becomes entered. Look at that, we're just adding ed, no doubling of t. We don't double the t here, so we just add ing to it because it has multiples or multiple syllables, and it has a lot of syllables, okay. And then maybe offer here again, we don't double the f, okay. We continue just adding ing because the stress is not on the last syllable. Offer, the stress is on f, okay. Enter, the stress is on t, it's not on the last syllable, okay. Compared to the word run, you notice that there's a stress on the word run, so that's why we double the n there to become running or swimming, okay. But here, offer, enter, the stress is not on the last syllable, so we just, these are the exemptions for this rule. So again, we have single e rule, okay. So when adding a vowel or a vowel suffix to a word, for example, hope here, we will end words with a silent e and drop the silent e before adding the suffix. So for example, hope, before hope becomes hoping, to show the continuous form, but we drop the word e. So this is another rule here. So hope becomes hoping by adding ing, okay. And then we have these special rules here to help us with the doubling of consonants. So it's very easy. So one, when we're adding ing, you notice that there's some words that we will double when the stress is on the last part. So, and the words when we want to find the past tense again, we will double some words to find the past tense. But the exemption is when the stress is not on the last syllable, then we just add ing, or we just do whatever, adding the suffix or the suffix, adding the suffix without necessarily changing anything. So don't forget about that. So all you have to know about this doubling consonant is that it helps maintain the correct pronunciation and meaning of the word, okay. It is an important spelling rule that is often taught in English or in the English language class to ensure that words are spelled correctly. So when adding common suffixes or suffixes, understanding this rule is very, very crucial. So suffixes are words that, or this word that we add at the end of words, okay. So when we're adding suffixes, maybe ed, maybe ing, we have to understand these rules so that we cannot make mistakes when writing, and make sure that we use the correct when we better our pronunciation, and even do not change the meaning of the word, okay, and to better our spelling too. So this rule is very, very important for accurate spelling. So you have to know this doubling rule, or this doubling of consonants, to be able to spell out words correctly, okay. So it's very important for accurate spelling and effective writing, or effective written and communication. Don't forget about that. So class, reaching this milestone is a great journey for all of us. And right now, before I even end my class, I would just love to leave this activity here. They're simple questions, very nice, sweet questions to work on. Simple 15 questions, just 15, and very, very simple to work on. So for example, the first questions you asked, what are the 8 parts of speech in English? And can you provide an example in each in a sentence? Very easy to do. For example, you have the nouns. You say, for example, mother. My mother is a teacher. Look at that. Very, very easy. Maybe Mary. Mary went to the market. Very easy. Define the term antecedent. I've talked about this. Differentiate between common nouns and proper nouns. Very easy. There's nothing to strain here. It is this exercise is to just help you remember and just make sure that you understand even better. So it's just to test your understanding and just help you even test yourself and make sure that you've grasped everything that we talked about. So that's the importance of this assignment, just to help you evaluate yourself, whether you've learned something today, or if you find yourself not doing well in a question or forgetting something, this will be a great thing for you to go back and just remind yourself on it. So thank you so much for today, and I pray that all of you will keep revising, and all the best. Bye.